mean, as far as this pandemic, like you said, a lot of different things to be positive or negative, you know, like as far as like on the negative side, I had a bunch of shows and stuff that got canceled, things like that. A lot of appearances and interviews and things like that got canceled, obviously, you know what I'm saying, for obvious reasons. But on the positive side, you know, like you said, it wasn't that easy to get into a recording studio. So I actually went and got my own setup at my house now. You know what I mean? Things like that. Also just gave me a chance to like really stockpile content. You know what I mean? Really, really make sure, you know, just stacking up a bunch of content and wrapping up albums and little odds and ends and projects that I have been working on and kind of put to the side to give me time to do that. Definitely, as far as like just becoming more self-sufficient, we have started shooting a couple of our own videos and things like that. You know, just because it's so hard to get these services that artists need. You know, this pandemic kind of put a stop to a lot of that, because people just it got to the point where people didn't even want to meet or just, you know, be around anyone, period, because of, you know, of the circumstances. You know what I mean? But the most important thing is like I just got to spend like a lot more time with my family, you know, my wife and my kids, you know, because, you know, doing this music thing, I'm always ripping and running. I'm always, you know, I always got some type of obligation or somewhere that I have to be, you know, and it felt good just for those few months to like really just kind of sit and not have to really worry about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? And just really bonding with everybody. You know, my youngest is, you know, he just turned 4 years old. So like, I got so much quality time with him to like go take him outside to play and, you know, taking him to the park and stuff like that when the park opened and, you know, things like that. So like, that was like really super duper important to me, you know? Well, I haven't actually jumped into like making beats yet, but what I will say is like, I've always been notoriously extremely picky when it comes to production. I think that is like the most important thing. You have to know what type of music you sound good. As an MC, you have to know what type of music you sound good over. You know what I mean? Because the lyrics, the hardcore hip hop heads, they're gonna always gravitate towards the lyrics. So that's half the battle. But for those people who are kind of like on the fence, or they may be listening to, you know, they may be listening to more commercial stuff and things like that. They need to hear something that's got to get them engaged. You know, I go to my wife for a lot of advice too, because she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if I could turn something on for her and she's like, oh, that's nice, then I know that the chances are if it comes on somewhere and there's some women around, they're gonna like it just like the guys like it. You know what I mean? I think, so, you know, just things like that. And as far as like production, I mean, I've done certain things. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I do, I may bring the producer to sample. You understand what I'm saying? In order so that we can put the record together. And you know, I'm good at interpreting to them what I want, you know, with the sound that I'm looking for. I think the best way to cook up a record is from scratch. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like the fly. I mean, obviously you work with producers who are talented, and they can give you stuff that they already have that works for you too. But I think the most potent way to put together music is like from scratch, where you come to them with the sample and then they put it together and you guys tweak the drums together and that type of thing, you know?